Hello guys, this is Malcolm Reviews again, and before this video does start, and again I know I said this multiple times, shout out to Silent Night, and again, he didn't make the thumbnail for this video, but he is a pretty decent channel and I'd recommend checking him out, and I'm probably going to ask him to edit this video because Movie Maker doesn't really want to work with me. But anyway, you know something I love? Nicktoons. Well, specifically the 90s to early to late or mid 2000s Nicktoons. You know, the good stuff. I love SpongeBob, Danny Phantom, The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, Avatar: The Last Airbender. There's loads of shows I love. And also, I actually really like some of the Nickelodeon games they have made. Now, licensed games can be a bit hit or miss, but when they do hit, they really hit. And the people in Nickelodeon decided, hey, you know all our popular cartoons? How about we mash them together and have them make several video games based around them teaming up? And that spawns the Nicktoons Unite series, which is pretty good in my opinion. I got introduced to the series through Globs of Doom on the Wii, which I really love, by the way. It's a really good game. And then after that, back in 2012, I actually played the game Nicktoons Battle for Volcano Island, which is a really good game. It's really good. And I also, a little while ago, well, 2 to 3 years ago, I played Nicktoons Unite and Attack of the Toybots, and I like all of them. I like all the Nicktoons games, but they aren't perfect. There isn't really a perfect thing out there, unless your name is Jesus. But I don't really have any problems with the series, other than maybe Nicktoons Unite sometimes getting a little boring, but the abilities and stuff is why I keep coming back to it. And Attack of the Toybots is a really underrated game. And I came across this review of the game because I wanted to see some reviews of the game, and I come across this person's review of it. And it seems like it has over 10,000 views, and it doesn't really have the greatest like to dislike ratio. It has 100 likes and about 50 dislikes. About half, 50-50. But anyway, let's watch it.
This game was a good game. I had very fond memories playing this game on my ride to Disney. But what happened to you? Why was the DS port better than the Wii and PS2 versions? Guess it's time to review this piece of crap.
Okay, one thing I have to say about the opening is that he talks about the DS version and then he only really shows the Wii version, and he says that they're both pieces of crap, but I'm not saying that this kid hasn't played the PS2 version, but I'm just saying that the game is still good in my opinion, and it's okay if he doesn't like it, but honestly I actually haven't played the DS version of the game, so I don't know how it plays, but from what I've seen of it, it actually looks kind of good. And it also has Invader Zim in it. Sold.
Just perfect for the creation of my vast army of evil toys. Powered by ghost energy, my evil army will be led by evil toy duplicates of Goody Two-Shoes heroes. My robot minions grab the best hero from every dimension, then scan them to create an evil master model. Then we send them back home, none the wiser.
Wait, what? Okay, this is not the weirdest story I've ever heard, but... Okay, no, this is the weirdest story I've ever heard.
Okay, it's meant to be weird. In Nicktoons Unite, the Professor Calamitous and the other villains failed to stop the heroes. And if they could do that, they would probably think of something different, again, creating evil toys. And you're saying this is weird, which is kind of acting like it's a flaw, but later in the SpongeBob show, jellyfish take over Bikini Bottom citizens, and their weakness is freaking mayonnaise. So, well, and plus it's a Nickelodeon game. What would you expect? This complicated story that only Harvard professors such as the greatest person of all time, Lillian Pumpernickel, can understand? Or are you expecting that? Because it's not that way.
So one of the many problems is that the characters look horrendous. Mind you, this game came out for the Wii in 2007. It's not like a game that came out for the GameCube. Even the GameCube prequels look better than this game.
And honestly, to me, they don't look that bad. I mean, they kind of look similar to how they did in the what was that? Oh yeah, Battle for Volcano Island. Yes, and also about the graphics being on the Wii, and it looks like a GameCube game. The Wii isn't exactly in HD, and also, this game also did come out when the PS2 was still around, and the GameCube was also, I think, still around there too. And not every person who makes a game can make graphics better than an older game. I mean, in my opinion, I think that the graphics for a Super Nintendo game looks better than some Xbox One games or those type of indie games. But that's just my opinion. And also, the graphics, again, they don't look that bad. I mean, they're not the greatest or prettiest thing to look at, but they're tolerable, at least.
Patrick gets taken, and SpongeBob disguises himself so he can sneak into the factory. Even though it's so obviously him, I mean, it's not like you're dealing with a hidden character.
Ding, 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 we came across the first of these so-called nitpicks. Now, I know what you may be thinking. Malachi, what's a nitpick? Well, sir, man, or madam, Mr. Malachi Ranch Reviews is going to tell you the definition of a nitpick, or what it is. A nitpick is being fussy and trying to find the most trivial stuff to pass off as a flaw when they're not really even flaws at all. And what this person was saying was that how could they get this SpongeBob confused with a robot? It's obviously him. And did you know it was SpongeBob that it's in? SpongeBob. They have defied logic many times. I mean, they can light fire underwater. What were you expecting? Were you expecting, again, the most complicated story of all time? And expecting these characters to have so many brain cells that they could, I don't know, like travel through time? But still, this is just, it's clearly a nitpick. And also, instead of actually trying to bring up points that would make sense, nitpicking is the way to go.
Just brick the 50 containers you see with goo. This is where you see another problem. The controls. They make platforming near impossible, and although it's not obvious at first, you'll see what I mean later on.
They make platforming near impossible, yet you got to the next platform. Do you know what the definition of impossible is? It means you can't do it. And I know this kid said near impossible, but it looked pretty easy to me. I mean, I've gotten to like the first mech section in the game on the Wii, and I got through some of these parts no problem. But still, the controls, they're not bad. Like, they control perfectly fine in my opinion, and they also, it has a similar control scheme to Battle for Volcano Island, and that game functioned really well. So it's not really that much of an issue because you could clearly see that the kid was clearly able to get to the next platform, and it looked like he didn't even have that much of a problem.
And look! Another problem. This is a beat-em-up game, so there has to be enemies. But being a 3D game, and one without a targeting system, it's very hard to hit the enemies. Okay,
another one of these counter-arguments I have. You said it's really hard to hit enemies. Yeah, you defeated the enemies with little to no problems. And with relative ease, too. And yeah, there's no targeting system, but there wasn't any targeting system in the other games or the sequel, Laws of Doom. And also, it's really not that hard to hit them. You just look at them and then mash the buttons to beat them up. And plus, I don't think in every section you have to defeat the enemies, only in certain sections, I believe. But great freaking start to the review. 4 minutes in and I already have a lot of problems.
So after you go through the intro part of the factory, you'll find Patrick and you will free him. By the way, how does SpongeBob free Patrick so easily? I know no one who can open that type of packaging without hedge scissors or sharp teeth.
Whippy, another nitpick. He's wondering how SpongeBob got Patrick free without sharp teeth or something, but again, it's SpongeBob. It's not meant to make sense. And also, it could clearly be really bad packaging, like, I don't know, like Walmart packaging that could be really easy to open. Plus, would you really want to watch like a 50-minute cutscene of SpongeBob trying to open the package? And plus, it's like, yeah, SpongeBob and Muscle Bob Buff Pants, he had those arms and he could barely even lift up a cup of juice. And it also showed SpongeBob being really ripped in the Fry Pit games. And I'm not saying those are problems. I mean, I do not nitpick. I would as a joke, but not to be serious or to pad out my length. But still, it's not a problem. It's just being petty. Being petty is nitpicking, and nitpicking is petty. I'm just saying, just make a real freaking point. Don't nitpick.
He joins the party, and you now find Timmy Turner, who has also been scammed and made to evil toys. His fairies, who are tired and can't do amazing wishes like nuke the place, can wish him to the previous checkpoint, but not to a further checkpoint? What? Why? Why can't you go to the next checkpoint? Wouldn't that make like 10 times more sense?
Okay, I believe in Nicktoons Unite when right after you beat Crocker, and when Timmy wished for the bad stuff to never happen, said they could only really wish for witches to change in their world. And I believe they are still in Bikini Bottom, or the Toy Factory in Bikini Bottom. So it made sense that they wouldn't be able to wish them to the next checkpoint. And also, it looked like they weren't really that powerful, and they were sick from the Krabby Patties, which I do believe that is why. And also, this is kind of, I don't know if I'd say it's a nitpick or not, but, you know, yeah, I may actually think it's a nitpick. But I'm just saying, do you really want the game to be that short? I mean, really? Do you think everything in a game or a cartoon should work out in real life and be exactly like real life? No. It doesn't have to. It's fantasy.
Remember what I said about the platforming? Well, now's the part where you start to die. A lot. 10% of the time from annoying enemies. But, as you see here, you will die 90% of the time from platforming issues. You might use your second jump at the wrong time, or just get unlucky with your timing. But you will die again and again.
Okay, this is also where we come to the point where it's not really the game's fault that he's failing, it's just that he's blaming his own mistakes on the game. And also it's similar to how people are like with Sonic games, and how when they get really frustrated, when they keep failing clearly, and it's their fault, they get frustrated and blame the game. I mean, if you clearly look at the footage, he was standing in place jumping for the entire time. It's only at the last second that he decides to move forward. Which, if he just moved forward entirely while jumping, he would be perfectly fine. it's only that he decided to stay there that he failed. And also about constantly dying, you did say that there were checkpoints in the level, so it's really not that much of an issue. I mean, yeah, you'd be constantly dying, but you have infinite lives and you have checkpoints, which you could try it again until you get it right. I'm just saying, it's not the game's fault that you're not good at it.
Let's go sliding!
Ew. Okay, let's see, let's see, this one, no. This section is impossible. Like, this game would be okay if this mechanic was not in this game. This section is almost impossible. It took me over an hour to do this.
You said you said it was impossible, and you didn't say nearly impossible, he said impossible. Yeah, he said it took him an hour to complete. Again, do you know what impossible means? Possible means you can't do it, or you can't beat it. So, you said you completed it in over an hour, yet previously you said impossible. It was impossible. And yay, a contradiction. Oh, I hate those. I hate contradictions. They really piss me off. Like, if you don't say it's possible, impossible, don't say it's possible to beat, or you beat it in over an hour. Like, I'm just saying, like, could you do like a quick Google search or bust out a dictionary and figure out what the definition of something is? Because impossible, it means you can't beat it. Yet you said you beat it. And plus, it's not impossible because I've seen other people, including myself, beat this section. And I'm not saying the section's exactly great, but it's possible to beat. And also the slippery controls, you just need some getting used to them to where you can eventually beat it. That's all I have to say there.
First off, the tongue you go on, it slides to the left. That's right. The tongue you go on slides to the left, and there's nothing you can do about it. Second of all, there is no checkpoint, and everything insta-kills you. So if you die, that's it. You'll have to start from the beginning and hope that you can get back to the spot where you were and do it better.
Yes, because how dare a game give you a challenge that you need to improve on? Like, how dare they? How dare they make a kids game in a kids session difficult? Like, how dare they? I mean, why don't they make it like Sonic Colors? Like, there's a reason why you have to do it over and over again. It's because either, one, you suck, two, you need to get adjusted to the controls, and three, again, you probably just are not good at it. And you said it was impossible because you always slide to the left. I mean, just don't leave yourself hanging. Move to the right, or try to dodge obstacles, or jump over them. And clearly, again, it's not possible. It's possible to beat. I beat it. I beat it when I was only like 10 or 11. Or maybe even younger than that.
No joke, I actually wanted to restart the factory and do the whole factory again, just so I can skip this one part. But probably the worst part about this experience is that you have to do this. You will see why later, but trust me, you can't, especially if you're trying to fully complete the game, skip this part.
Okay, so he said he wished he could restart at the factory again so he could skip this, but then he went on to say you have to do it so you can't skip it. I swear there's so many contradictions in this video. Like, if I had a penny for every contradiction he has made, I would be richer than all the Kardashians combined. I mean, seriously, do you give a crap about making reviews? I don't think you do. In fact, honestly, I just think that you're just saying this game is bad because you have a hard time trying to beat it. And your lack of skill is not the game's fault. And also, again, let me go back to the part where he said 90% of your problems will be because of platforming issues. And he's acting like it's a problem. And a majority of the running into the deer stuff, he didn't bother to jump. He just kept running forward. And of course you're gonna die, because you didn't dodge it. Like, seriously, again, you sucking at the game, it's not the game's fault. It's your fault.
Wait a minute. Aang is in this game. Wait, no. He's just a picture in this game, not really character. Missed opportunity there. Missed opportunity.
Okay, well, I do think it is kind of disappointing that you didn't get to play Zane in the game. He doesn't exactly appear in the story, like in any of the cutscenes, and I don't even think the actor was in there. So it would make sense why they wouldn't make him a playable character, but no, actually, I think quite a bit of the characters in this game, not really every one of them appears in a cutscene. I mean, I think you could play as Jenny, SJ9, Gur, and maybe even Rocco or Stimpy. Yet I don't think they appear in the cutscenes, which, okay, you may have a point there.
Okay, so something that you'll notice is that. Okay, how do I explain this again?
Good news!
Ah! Okay, game. Don't do that to me. Something you should know. I hate jump scares. I would never put one on my channel unless, like, it's Halloween and I'm doing, like, a scary game review and I'm receiving the jump scares, which I would really never do.
So you say you hate jump scares, yet you said you would put it in a Halloween review. And you said you hate jump scares, but you would try to scare your viewers. I find a double standard there. I may also find some hypocrisy in there. He's like, oh, I hate jump scares, but how about I put one in my Halloween reviews? Hypocrisy!
Okay, so guys, you're gonna give me beef for this, but whatever. I lost a video for his next part, and I'm not going back in there to play the game again to get that one cutscene. So I'm just gonna explain what happened. You finally get Jimmy, and you go to meet the Chatbot, which you'll see later on. Him and Jimmy make a deal. Jimmy wants Danny, Chatbot wants Master Models, which he wants, I don't know, to collect. Kind of like amiibos, hard to find, never used. But anyways, the only way to get them is by doing mini-games like the SpongeBob one, which is why I hate this game. When you're forced to do something that you don't like 3 times, yes, you have to play the SpongeBob one 3 times. You shouldn't do it. You only need to do it once. The designers should have saw that.
So you don't bother to show the clip, so you may not exactly have context for why they're doing it. I mean, if you're not going to go back to play the game again, then you could easily, like, snap a clip on YouTube, and you could use that to give context, and also, you said the game would be okay if they took out those parts. So, are those parts so bad that they make the game bad as a whole? I mean, this is similar to what I commented on Nathaniel Bandy's Top 10 Sonic Games list when he said the cutscenes were bad. And yeah, they weren't really that great, but it's not really I don't really think it would be bad enough to make the game bad as a whole. And again, can you please at least have the decency to look up a cutscene on YouTube and download it and put it in the video to where you can actually have context for why that's happening? And also, if you want to know the context for it, pick up the game. I would recommend doing that. In fact, you know what? I'm going to link to an Amazon and eBay.com, so if you want to see it, you can pick it up, or I'll just put a all cutscene video in the description, so then you'll actually have context.
Anyways, now you see that the platforming has gone crazy. No, I mean crazy. Like, now it's gonna start taking long, tedious hours of the same platforming to conquer this. This is where the platforming starts to beat you up. The controls are wonky. It's hard to tell where you're going to jump, especially in these 2D sections that are still 3D. And everything when you're platforming, when it kills you. It would be okay if the controls were good, but no, they're not. The difficulty curve is insane because of these controls. And you have to master the art of using these controls if you want to beat this game.
Okay, what I honestly have to say here is that a kid's game being difficult is really not that bad, and also if you have a problem with it, like, you could, like, make a map and, like, calculate what the speed of the platforms they're going to come at, and then time your controls right. And, again, I don't really think the controls are that bad. So, it should be at least decent picking for trying to get the game beat. And, also, again, yeah, it is a pretty big difficulty curve, but I believe I also beat the level as well, so yeah, and it may have taken me a little bit, but it's not impossible. Like, actually, I don't really think he said it was impossible, but let me just say you might need some trial and error to eventually beat it, which is a good thing. It's actually trying to challenge you. Get on your game.
So after collecting all the master models, you find out that Danny's house was invaded by Professor Calamitous when Danny wasn't home. Now he's using the ghost energy to power his toy robots. I don't get it either.
In the opening cutscene, Professor Calamitous showed that it's going to be ghost energy that's going to be powering the master models in the portal. So, there's your context for you. I swear, like, I don't know if I'd say this is as bad as the Everything Sonic ripped off from Dragon Ball Z video that I will be posting at some point. I do have everything I need. I just need to edit it or ask David to edit it. And, or I don't know if I'd also say it's as bad as the Veilski Bum 94 video, but seriously, there are people who are saying this is a good review. It's not that good in my opinion. In fact, I think it's bad. It's a bad review. It deserves those 50 dislikes. And I'm not telling you guys to go after him and leave negative comments and bullying him. Like, I don't even know who this kid is, but I'm just saying, just because he made a bad review, don't go after him. Like, you just don't. Don't go after him. Bullying is not good.
This part of the game was fun. This was the only part of the game that, instead of boring platforming, was fun shooting. I would repeat this section, to be honest. I mean, don't get me wrong, this does not save the game at all. To summarize it, you just walk around, shoot things, try not to be shot back, and go around mines, try to dodge turrets, and a ton of other enemies. But you also have infinite slime balls to shoot, and missiles that do take up your slime meter. Now, this part is very linear, but linear isn't bad. Mario's linear. Does that make it bad? It just means that you go around a certain track, which, again, doesn't make it bad. It makes it fun. Am I losing my mind?
No, I actually do agree with you there. While I do find some linear games to be mediocre, linear doesn't always mean bad. It just means you're going around in areas that they're guiding you through. Now, I'm not saying linear is always good. Like, myself, I do like a non-linear game from quite a few times, but I actually agree with this point. Linear doesn't always mean bad, but again, just not everything in the game, like, the game isn't bad because of, like, I honestly don't think the platforming is bad at all. In fact, I actually really like it. And again, The SpongeBob sliding sections are pretty... They're manageable to beat. They're not impossible.
Okay, so now you versus a tank with Jimmy's head on top. Wait, is this a boss? Do I actually sense an actual game with care and actual feeling in this game?
So you're saying adding a boss battle means they're adding care and love into the game. What if it's a bad boss battle, though? Will they still be adding love and care into the game? I wouldn't say so. But, hey, the other Nicktoons games before this also had boss battles. Like, I do think there were boss battles in I almost said Revenge of the Flying Dutchman. What I meant to say was Battle for Volcano Island. And in Nicktoons Unite, there were a crap ton of boss battles, and I honestly love those boss battles. Now, not every Nicktoons Unite boss was good. I hate that freaking Fleabot, and I also hate Crocker. But I'm just saying, adding a boss battle in the game isn't automatically adding love and terror into the game. That just means they add a challenge that you need to get through. And this game, according to this kid, is quite challenging. So, yeah.
Professor Calamitous puts his harder troops at the gate. I guess now I have to go through Factory 3 and stop the making of the evil toys. But how are they harder?
The Saucerman toys originate from a zone in this factory.
Yep.
You must stop Calamitous from using the aforesaid Saucerman to capture any more heroes.
I'm with you there.
Stopping the Saucerman will be even more difficult now.
That explains nothing.
It explains it somewhat to me, like, enemies later in the game that you're gonna fight are going to be more difficult than the enemies you fought previously, so it explains quite a bit to me. I'm just saying, I see what they're saying.
So last factory you go through is a space level, and it's a nightmare. First off, there's these spaceship things. It's not that annoying, but it's a chase sequence, and those are really never fun. Except there's this one part where there are no platforms, and it spawns you in the death zone. I keep dying and dying and dying. Oh my god! This is impossible! Oh, what? Do you know how much I raged? Look, you see how it says communication with the Wii remote has been interrupted? That was for me throwing my controller. The batteries fell out. Oh, I can't believe it!
Well, hey, no shit, you threw the controller and had a raging hissy fit. What would you expect it? What would you expect? I mean, people have threw their Wii remote at the TV and broke it. So what would you expect? And also, this stage isn't impossible. I mean, I haven't got to it, admittedly, because I've only played this game for about a year before I lost it. But it's not impossible. I mean, there are people who showed the cutscenes and have played through the game entirely. So obviously, it's not impossible. And why, like, yeah, I could see that it would be a nightmare because it's like the last zone of the game. What were you expecting from a last level? Are you expecting it to be easy? Okay, kid. I'll give you a cakewalk. If I had to hear some arrows showing you where you need to go. Oh, I feel like such a dick.
But do you know what I found out? Do you know what I found out? This was a glitch! This was what it was supposed to look like. There's supposed to be a floor that you're supposed to walk on. And those things those like capsule things you're supposed to break. The floor, it didn't even spawn! What the heck, game? As you see, I'm supposed to break these orbs so I can move on. However, with no floor, I can't do that.
Hell, it's like the orbs are sitting on a floor. So, you just need to break the capsules and try to dodge that moving thing that can insta-kill you. It's really not that difficult to figure out a strategy to beat it. That's all I have to say there.
And Professor Calamitous gets mad. He orders the SpongeBots to protect the fairy harvester so he can continue making the evil Toybots. Oh, and he apparently has an evil minion that only appears in one other cutscene. That's besides the storm of room where it looks like we're trapped by other mech robots. And, surprise, we're in the game show room.
The judges have made their decision. The winner of the biggest genius is the Chatbot.
Chatbot.
It physically combined all the theme ingredients: Krabby Patties, fairies, and ghost energy. In true genius fashion, you have gone even further to create the greatest collection of action figures in the world. Only the biggest genius could have completed such a challenge.
No, stop, please, please, please.
To receive your very own Professor Calamitous Immobilization Bot and an electric shaver.
No, you can't. Not the mustache. It took me years to grow it.
If they roll the credits, I swear to God, I'm gonna get up and, oh my God, they rolled the credits. Real talk for a moment. A game must have a final level and a final boss. These are used to test your skills, to see if you really learn everything in the game. Without it, a game is nothing.
Well, clearly you've been challenged quite a bit trying to get to this point. And yeah, sometimes it is kind of unfortunate that you don't get a final boss or a final ending. But that cutscene, that was the ending. And it was actually kind of a funny plot twist of how the entire game that was happening was actually in a game show, and it's funny how one of his own employees won. That was actually kind of funny in my opinion. But overall, I didn't really like this review at all. There are only like 2 points that I can understand. Everything else was either nitpicking, him blaming his own mistakes on the game, or just contradictions galore. Anyway, guys, see you guys later. Okay, you know what? Never mind. We are not ending this right yet. So, you're saying that one of the main reasons it's not bad, or it's bad, is because it doesn't have a final ending, or a final boss. Well, you actually did say there was an ending, but you're saying it's not a good ending. I still don't get why you hate this game so much. I mean, just try to improve. Just try. And honestly, I think the game's great. It's a really fun time, and it's my second favorite Nicktoons game, behind Battle for Volcano Island, and above Globs of Doom, which Globs of Doom is above Unite. Unite was good, it's just that there was a lot of room for improvement. But, okay, now, see you guys later.